She left me for an alpha male. Now, she wants me back. My 30-year-old ex-wife wants to get back together with me, 29, after leaving me about a year and a half ago. We were together for 7 years, married for 5. It was love at first sight, and everything felt natural from the moment we met. After dating for 2 years, we decided to get married. Not long after that, we had our baby, now 4 years old. A pandemic baby. Because of the circumstances, she quit her job and stayed home with our son, while I continued working as a chef and doing Uber Eats in the evenings. When life started going back to normal, she told me she didn't want to be one of those women who lost their passion after settling down. So she went back to finish her law degree and took the bar exam. Of course, I supported her completely. I was proud, and I tried to make it work however I could. After she passed the bar, she got hired right away at a law firm downtown, with help from her friend Dumbo, 33. That's when the problem started. From the beginning, she started making good money. So much so that she told me to quit my job and take care of our kid full-time, since she wouldn't have the time. I said no. I loved my job. Cooking was my passion, and I had worked hard to become a chef. One of my biggest regrets in the marriage was giving that up. But I eventually did, and I became a stay-at-home dad. Slowly, our marriage started to fall apart. She began pulling away, working long hours, barely spending time with us. She'd go out drinking on weekends to network with colleagues. She'd even take trips. At home, she was constantly irritated, like she had become a totally different person, not the sweet, loving woman I fell in love with. Our intimacy faded to nothing. Therapy helped me realize that I wasn't perfect either. I should have communicated better. I should have spoken up. But through it all, what kept me going was my son. Watching him grow, being there for all his firsts. That gave me purpose. Then one day, she asked for a divorce. I wasn't surprised. It felt like everything had been leading up to that moment. But I still didn't want to give up. I asked her if she was sure, if we could try counseling or even a temporary separation. She said no. She had met someone else. That destroyed me. I could understand growing apart, but I never imagined she'd be the type to leave for another man. She told me it was a senior partner at her law firm. Apparently, he had taken her out a few times and showed her the life she deserved. We argued. She told me he was twice the man I was. She called me feminine for being a stay-at-home dad while she worked hard and brought in the money. Like, wasn't that her idea? And what about when I worked 2 jobs during the pandemic just to keep us afloat? To her, those weren't real jobs. I was just a cook and a delivery guy. She said this new guy was an alpha male, tall, muscular, with a real job, and knew how to treat a woman. She bragged about how he'd take her on weekend getaways that she used to tell me were work trips. The worst part? She said he was so much of a man that he didn't want to make their relationship official until we were legally separated. I almost laughed at how ridiculous it all sounded. I asked her, "What about our son?" She told me to keep him, that he loved me more anyway. That hurt more than anything. She discarded our son like he was nothing. I didn't recognize the woman in front of me anymore. Not gonna lie. I lost it. Said some things I regret. She left. I cried for 2 weeks straight, hoping she'd call, hoping she'd come back. I wasn't even sure I loved her anymore, but life without her was terrifying. What saved me was my son. I couldn't fall apart for his sake. Eventually, I begged for my old job back. They rehired me for a few nights a week. Not much, but it was something. The divorce moved fast, and soon it was final. What hurt the most was how I had no support. Online, everyone praised her for being a strong, independent woman, breaking free from metaphorical handcuffs, like I had held her back. No one asked how I was doing. But thank God for that, honestly, because it pushed me to try therapy. And it helped. A lot. Fast forward to this week. I got a call from an unknown number. It was her, crying. She told me her alpha had found someone else. She's afraid to even confront him because he's her boss. She explained everything: her insecurities after childbirth, how the pandemic made her feel unattractive, and how getting attention at work gave her a sense of validation. Of course, it was Dumbo, her recently divorced friend, who planted the idea that I was a failure, that she deserved someone better, that I was a beta holding her back. Honestly, I should have protected her more from that influence. But mostly, I just felt disappointed. She threw away our marriage over pressure and a fantasy. Now she wants to try again. She says she miss I.